And now we see 6 months later, John chapter 7. After these things, Jesus walked in Galilee, for he did not want to walk in Judea, because the Jews sought to kill him. So there's Judea, that's southern Israel, and there's Galilee, northern Israel. And Jesus stayed in Galilee because the Jews wanted to kill him. The Jewish leaders wanted to kill him. Have you ever had someone want to kill you? Anybody have someone want to kill you? One time I was working at this construction. We were building stairs, and me and one of my coworkers got into a little tiff about something. I didn't think it was a big deal. Then I went out to deliver to the construction sites, and as happens with me, I got lost, and it took me a while to get back, and so I got back an hour late or so. And it was evening, I had to close up. The next morning, my coworker says to me, "It's a good thing you were late." And I said, "Why?" He said, "I had a board, and when you walked in, I was going to kill you. I was going to kill you." Man, talk about employee, problems there. But that sobers you up. That makes you think, okay, what did I do? Here, Jesus had a group of people that were out to kill him. And one thing he decided, I think wisely at that point, it was wisely, of course, is to wait 6 months before coming back into the area. And so it said that because the Jews sought to kill him. Now the Jews' Feast of Tabernacles was at hand. So there's three main feasts that all Jewish males are required to go to, and this was one of them. It was called the Feast of Tabernacles, and it was about to occur. And all these feasts, of course, occurred in Jerusalem at the temple. And so tens of thousands of people would be coming to this feast, from Jews from Israel as well as from all over the world would be coming to this feast. And it was a feast, and feasts in those days, the three feasts, would celebrate something in the past that God had done. And in this case, it was the Feast of Tabernacles. And what they were celebrating was God providing for them for 40 years in the wilderness. Because remember, they kept traveling around from one place to another. They were kind of nomads all through the wilderness, and they lived in makeshift homes and tents. And so all of these people would converge for this celebration. It lasted 8 days. It started out lasting 7, then it ended up later lasting 8 days, from one Sabbath to the next. And they would converge there, and they would build these little huts, some on the ground or up on the tops of roofs, and people would stay in them. It was kind of like a family event. Everybody would stay in these huts to remember and to praise God that he had brought their ancestors through these 40 years and provided for them in the wilderness. And so it was that, and it was also a celebration of God's provision, because it was time to harvest the grapes. It was time to harvest the olives, and so it was celebrating God's provision, and especially God's provision providing for them food and water in the wilderness. You remember how they didn't have any water, and God gave them water out of a rock. And so these were the things that were being celebrated, and the priests were involved in, and all the people were coming together for it. And so it says, now the Feast of Tabernacle was at hand, and his brothers therefore said to him. Did you know Jesus had brothers? Yeah, he has 4 brothers. It tells us in Matthew and Mark. And his brothers' names were James and Joseph and Jude and Simon. So he had 4 brothers, and apparently the brothers were there. He was with them up in Galilee where they'd grown up. And it said that, what would it be like to be Jesus' brother, by the way? Oldest brother. You know what? Did your parents ever say, you need to be more like your brother? Okay. But my brother's perfect. It would be tough, right? Anyway, sisters maybe not so bad. I don't know. But anyway, he did have some sisters too. We won't name them right now. So his brothers said to him, "Depart from here and go into Judea. Go to Judea where the feast is taking place, that your disciples may also see your works that you are doing." So they're saying, "Look, Jesus, you're doing a bad job on being a politician here. You're not getting the crowd behind you. You're up, staying up in Judea, but all of the crowds that can see all the miracles that you do are down in Judea. They're thronging the place, and besides, you're required like any other Jewish man to be at the feast. So you need to do that." And they said, for no one does anything in secret while he himself seeks to be known openly. Look, you want to be known, Jesus? You're not going to do it up here. You've got to go down there where everybody's at. This is the perfect time. It's the perfect place.